She's world-renowned dermatologist Dr. Ava Shamban.
You want them to look like luscious and juicy, but not crazy.
Right.
With 3 cutting-edge clinics to her name, offering the most breakthrough age-defying lasers, fillers to beautify the face. A research wonk in the lab, literally immersed in the science of skin. But Dr. Ava will tell you she's just as obsessed with soul and tells her patients true radiance is an inside job. And boy, does she practice what she preaches. When not with patients, Shamban is a world traveler, an avid adventurer, a single mom of 3 who built her all-woman practice from the ground up, who, despite a difficult and painful childhood, dug deep to live a dream. Life lessons she's now intent on sharing with patients, especially women, where she makes clear breakthrough technology can do so much, but glowing skin comes from within. The remarkable Dr. Ava Shamban. She is today's LA Story. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of LA Stories. I'm Giselle Fernandez, and we are coming to you from the home of Dr. Ava Shamban, who single-handedly, literally built her woman-owned practice from the ground up. Congratulations on Titan success.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, it's hard to believe. It's such a long journey, yeah.
You know, they say if you want to get something done, ask a busy woman. And you're a businesswoman and a doctor. You build your own brands. You're in the lab. How did you do it all and be a single mom at the same time?
I really had a calling. Sometimes things just choose you. And I really felt that way. Your skin's very important besides holding all your organs in. It's the main arm of your immune system.
So much has changed since you built your practice. All these new gizmos, technology, serums, lasers, light beams.
When I came into dermatology, it was psoriasis and eczema and acne and mole checks and skin cancer. And there were like 5 medicines that we had at the time. But I was so fortunate to be at the beginning of aesthetic dermatology, at the ground. And the field exploded, and so I was able to help develop the field, which was incredibly exciting.
What is the biggest advancement that you've seen over the years that's most exciting?
Now, there are so many different types of lasers and energy-based devices that can improve the quality of the skin, reduce lines and wrinkles, tighten skin, tighten muscle, restore fat pads, and then we move off the face to the neck, to the chest, to the arms, to the legs. We've got neuromodulators, wrinkle relaxers. We've got fillers of every description. We've got tissue stimulators. There's a huge tool chest that's now at our disposal, which was not before. Skincare is evolving as well. It's such an exciting time, honestly, in the whole field.
When you said you wanted to build your practice, in medical school, they don't teach you, at least then they didn't, how to build your own business. How did you learn to do that?
I do call myself an accidental entrepreneur. I never set out to build a big business, really. I just wanted to be a doctor and take care of people and have people feel better about themselves.
You've said in your writings, in your books, in your lectures, that how someone feels about their own beauty, their own appearance, definitely is linked to their self-esteem and sense of self.
When I saw how you could improve someone's looks, and it turned into a whole area of thought for me about the psychology of looks. And we have something called the facial feedback hypothesis, which is where when you look at yourself in the mirror that you feel better about yourself, you feel happier. There's something called sexual selection, which comes from Darwin, and nonverbal communication, because most of our communication is nonverbal. So it all has to do with so much of how you appear and how you feel about how you appear. So then I came up with a concept called signature feature, where I feel that everyone has something beautiful about them. Everything that I do is designed to showcase and highlight what's beautiful about that person. It's independent of your age or your wealth or your weight or where you're from. It's something that's yours and yours alone and sets you apart from everyone else.
Yeah, so it's not just about going in and lasering and smoothing out wrinkles. You see a deeper connection to what you're doing on the outside that impacts the inside.
Seeing women and men and seeing how their looks were transformed They started to sit up, they started to come into the room with more confidence, and they felt so much better about themselves that they changed their lives. They got out of bad relationships, they developed a career.
What have you learned most gazing into the faces of thousands over decades as you have about how people perceive their own sense of beauty?
It actually can be quite sad. Too many times I'll see someone who is so beautiful who walks through my door and they say, what about this and what about that? And it's just something that just doesn't make any sense. And then I say to them, did your mother always tell you you weren't pretty? And 100% of the time, that's true. And it's devastating. You want to help people to feel better about themselves. I think it's the passion that I feel for people.
From what I've read, you had a difficult childhood where you weren't that nurtured.
I understand people's pain. I didn't feel pretty. The truth is that I've had really hard times, a lot of crying, a lot of sadness. I pretty much grew up on my own. My mother suffered from a lot of depression. She was hospitalized after I was born, and my father wasn't around.
But it didn't stop you. I'm always fascinated by women particularly who rise in business to the level of success that you have. How did you fight through that dark time, as you've called it, to still have your eye on the prize and do what you needed to do?
Well, honestly, I had an amazing therapist, an amazing and extraordinary therapist who really helped kind of reparent me in a very profound way.
And what did you come to in yourself that helped you look at yourself differently?
I almost felt at a certain period that I was two separate people. Like I was Dr. Ava Shamban and then I was Ava. And so to merge the two was the challenge. And at a certain point, it was merged. That really helped.
So you were obviously very comfortable in your identity as doctor and success and Harvard grad, etc.
Well, because think about it, that's relatively easy. You go to school, you take the test, you do well in the test. That's pretty straightforward.
So you were the brainiac that validated yourself with that. Mm-hmm. But as a woman, as a daughter that needed nurturing, as real self-esteem, where that place comes from self-acceptance, that's what you needed to merge?
Exactly. There's that little child, that little girl for us that wants to be loved or wants to be accepted or whatever she wants. And so to take care of that little girl and say, yes, I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to love you, you are part of me. But it doesn't happen as easily as me just saying that. You have to kind of work on it. But then when that happens, you start to feel more whole. Start by making a list of all your wonderful qualities. And then you can also make a list of the mean things that people have said to you over the years that you've taken to heart. And then you kind of tear up the bad part. Really focus and accept and internalize all of the wonderful things that we all have about ourselves.
What a gift.
When you become more whole, you get more powerful. I felt more powerful. It really took a lot of time for me to put everything together to buy a practice and start on my own. And so I had to kind of piece it all together. You have to be passionate about what you do. It's not a job, it's a career, and it's a calling.
What do you consider to be your biggest success, what you're most proud of?
I'm most proud of building a business where I've employed 45 women who are the major wage earners in their family.
Well, your business has been so profoundly successful, and while you credit so many on your team for sure, you drove it to success and recently sold it. Stay on, because they made that a condition of the sale, and then you made sure all of those women that have built this business with you had a stake in that sale. Maverick, why important to you?
Because it's everyone's effort. It's not just me. Absolutely everybody has put forward such devotion and hard work and dedication to taking care of these people, to taking care of me. It is not anything I did by myself. And everybody needs to be rewarded for that. Everybody.
All right, that's a great place to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to dive into more of your mastery and the business you've built and how Dr. Ava Shamban became a Titan success story. When LA Stories comes right back. Welcome back to LA Stories, everyone. We're here with world-renowned dermatologist Dr. Ava Shamban. Make very clear, there's not one oracle or one standard of beauty. That everyone has, as you say, a signature feature, something beautiful to amplify. What do you mean by that? Like, give me an example.
If I say Eiffel Tower, you'll say
Paris.
Right. There's so many examples of what would be a signature feature that you immediately know what it is, who it is.
How do you then apply that to the face?
Usually it's eyes or mouth, and if you look at people's eyes, everybody has individual shape and color, and the same thing with lips. We know that different performers in entertainment can make a whole career out of a feature. Mick Jagger is like a skinny white dude. How did he become a sex symbol? His lips. And then he uses his lips everywhere. If you think about one of the most famous pieces of art that's around.
Mona Lisa.
Exactly. Mona Lisa's smile, right? What's interesting, Da Vinci did not paint eyebrows above her eyes because he was really focused on her smile. We know that the eyebrows and the eyelashes serve to showcase your eyes. Makeup artists have known this for a long time, and that's why in a certain face, they may highlight one feature, one major feature over another. And so based on those easy examples, then you can make a case for why you want to figure out what's beautiful and special about you, and then you can showcase and highlight it.
So how do you apply that then to your practice?
Well, it's about balancing the face. It's about framing things. There's a principle of signal to noise ratio. So you want to increase signal and reduce background noise. Background noise are lines, wrinkles, brown spots, red spots, facial contour abnormalities. So you want to correct all of that so you can see what's beautiful about a face. All of a sudden the eyes look bigger, the mouth looks prettier. It's the way our brains work, like the way in an impressionist painting, all the dots that are in an impressionist painting, it's not like one color, but our brains put it all together. So it's fascinating.
It's an interesting line of work because in essence, you're taking what God created and then you're amplifying or enhancing. Where is the clutch for you? I amplify, I enhance, but I don't,
Exaggerate.
Exaggerate.
Yes.
You see a lot of that in this town.
Yes. And everybody sees it instantly. They may not know what it is, but you feel sick to your stomach a little bit. We all want to get old. That's the goal. We just don't want to look old.
I remember a wonderful woman aging. She goes, if it weren't for the windstorms through the canyons, you'd never know the beauty of their carvings. These are the lines of the life I've lived,
Well, that's what they used to say because they were unavoidable, but nobody wants them. Nobody really does. Let's talk about the frown for a minute. It can give the impression that you're angry. It can give the impression that you're sad. So that's why we treat the frown so often. And it turns out that there's a positive feedback loop between if you can't frown, you actually feel better and has been shown to improve depression. It changes how that road goes forward because you are literally improving the expression of the genes in your skin.
And you have said that glistening skin, that beautiful glow, yes, it can come in a bottle, your fountain of youth, all your potions and serums, etc. But that the well-lived life, that what we see on the outside is also taking place on the inside. You preach that to your patients?
I do, it's so annoying. They're like, wait a minute, I just wanted a little Botox. It's not just about how you look, it's about how you live your life. And so we know that living a better life, of course, it includes nutrition, it includes exercise, it includes good sleep habits, but it also includes good interpersonal relationships. Being a responsible part of your community is as important to longevity as making your skin look good.
And you actually practice what you preach. You're kind of known as the Indiana Jane of dermatology. You're an avid skier and swimmer and hiker. You find renewal in nature and apply that to your daily work.
I'm drawn to the beauty of nature. I find it very soothing, someplace where I go to heal. The green bathing that the Japanese talk about. And the trees actually release phenomers. They release molecules into the air. And so it makes me feel good to be in the woods, to be in the ocean.
Going down your black diamond slopes.
I will ski a double black diamond. Yes.
And you tell your patients that's as necessary to their glowing, glistening skin as their Botox and filler?
Well, everybody has to find what speaks to their soul. But whatever it is, it's something that's a part of a well-lived life, yes.
One of the other amazing things you do is travel the globe for decades, going into the most exotic isles and villages that you post on your social media. What remedies and ancient secrets have you gleaned from those travels that you come back and incorporate to what you do in this kind of modern world?
Well, I'm really interested in beauty practices around the world. For example, in Myanmar, they apply something called Thanica, which is this yellow antioxidant, but also serves as a physical block sunscreen. They have the Huna in Hawaii. It's a different system of healing where they believe that you heal all these different energy orbs around you. I find that the more I learn, the more I can incorporate like one little thing from this culture, one little thing from that culture. I really like foraging, which I've done in, most recently in Slovenia, also in New Zealand. If you eat a lot of these different types of lettuces that are more bitter, they actually are very high in antioxidants. And we actually know that when you eat foods very rich in antioxidants, that those antioxidants do get to your skin.
Like turmeric and ginger and all those things really work.
They really do. So all that fast food, not so much, not good for you. Not good for you. It creates what are called advanced glycation end products, AGEs. It creates all kinds of free radicals and oxidative damage. It's not even a minute on the lips. At 10 years on the hips, it's a minute on the lips and then 10 years on your face.
I'll never eat a cheeseburger again. Well, you're not only an adventure out there, but when you put on that lab coat again, you also take on some of the most devastating skin diseases and see how it ravages people's lives. Are we getting any closer to like eradicating those, or is it as prevalent as ever?
Well, in fact, there has been an explosion of new medications that are biologically based to help with all of these chronic conditions, especially psoriasis and eczema, even vitiligo, where people's skin turns white. All of these things have so many new medications that are incredibly effective. It's so reassuring. It's really an exciting time to be a dermatologist, because really dermatology is at the forefront of figuring out all of these immunologically driven skin diseases, which will in turn impact our internal health.
Great place to take a break. When we come back,
it's absolutely heartbreaking.
after our interview, Dr. Ava assessed the damage of the Palisades fire where she grew up as a child, and her Skin 5 clinic was damaged by smoke, but miraculously is still standing amidst widespread devastation.
It was, you know, it's your childhood. And coming back and seeing what this looks like now is just, it's heartbreaking.
Dr. Ava's message of resilience when LA Stories comes right back.
So I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Skin 5 business. Ideally, we'll be able to reopen, probably not for a couple of years.
Welcome back to LA Stories with Dr. Ava, walking through the Palisades, where she grew up as a child, surveying the devastation of the fires. Here to hand out free skin care to patients and comfort them, but would need comforting herself.
It's a lot. I'm supposed to be comforting you. It's a lot. We all need to write a love letter to Pacific Palisades and what a special community Pacific Palisades is. My message is, have faith. Put your energy into rebuilding. Come back and make the community even better than it was before.
It's a message she shares with patients, many of whom have become friends, who she makes sure get free skin care anyway.
Well, one thing I can do for you is give you just a little bit of skincare. Oh. It's like the very least I can do. It's a small few items. Oh. Don't worry, there's plenty more where this is coming from.
You're a dear friend, and I just can't thank you enough.
Laura, the best.
You devote a lot of your time to mentorship. How important is that philanthropy to you?
Extremely important. Passing it on, paying it forward.
If you had to say to other women, how did you break through all the dark times, what would you say?
Belief in yourself and belief in what you do. It doesn't matter what the obstacles are. You can do it if you put your mind to it and you put your shoulder to it. Say to yourself every day in the mirror, I am beautiful. Put on sunscreen. Don't bake in the sun.
Well, congratulations on Titan's success as a businesswoman, as a mom, as a world-renowned dermatologist to so many. Thank you, Ava Shamban.
Thank you, Giselle.
And thank you for watching another edition of LA Stories. I'm Giselle Fernandez. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.